She doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like four sentences, like run, spot, run. Four sentences that are just, oh, we'll try and lower taxes. She,
Do you know what he mean by that?
Like, like run, spot, run. No, hey, I'm not. I don't be hip, but he a wild dude, bro, to begin with. But at the same time, I can't completely like throw him in the trash because at the same time, it'd be funny, dog. And he be saying some stuff. But anyways, he definitely let's just go into it. Let's just go into it. Let my man run.
So look, this is what he meant by that for all the people that's watching. When he said run spot run, a lot of people was like, what the hell is he
Is
talking
that
about?
copy and paste?
He was talking about run spot, like the dog name is Spot. So he's saying like run spot run because the immigrants is coming over here, the dogs and the
Oh,
cats.
go ahead, bro. I did
So
not. I was
he
not hip.
so he's saying the run her policy is basically open borders. It was basically it's an underlying.
Not run, spot, run. Just hey, open the gates. Let them boys go. Hey, I ain't gonna lie though. I'm not a fan of like them dropping people off just randomly. I really think the whole time, I think it's like the Republicans dropping people in here so that way it makes more people outraged on like immigrants just coming in or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
You think
like
the Republicans are dropping the
I
immigrants?
this is look, I think they dropping them in so that way it looks crazy. And these people like if y'all gonna let them in, let's let them in for real, right?
You mean
And that
Democrats?
no Republicans. Because at the same time, the Republicans are with the ones. I mean, the Democrats are the ones that are all for let the gates open, let
That's what
people
you
in.
said Republicans.
Right? I'm saying the Republicans are the ones bringing them in. Like, if you want to let them in, we're gonna bus load them to your house. They bus loaded them to her front porch.
So yes, so the Republicans, so they are crossing the Texas border,
Right.
right, based on the Democratic policy,
Policies. Right. So
right?
I feel like the Republicans is like, you want to let them in? I'm gonna really let them in.
Correct. So they're dropping off. So yes, they have sent like bus loads of immigrants to Kamala's house.
Yeah, like in DC, Chicago, Colorado, all of that. Like they literally just busting them in. Like if you want to let them in, we're gonna really let them in and let you really get the outrage. I mean, like side of it.
Right. All right,
All right. Tap back into it. Tap back into
have
it.
a plan. Take a look at her plan. She doesn't have a plan.
I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. And that is why I imagine and have actually a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy. Because here's the thing, we know that we have a shortage of homes and housing, and the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support.
I gotta pause it because it's like, baby, if you know this, you're acting like you're not in office.
How you letting more people? Hold on. We're gonna have to let it run. But what I'm saying is, I'm all for this movement of like a black female president. But some of the stuff be like, that's adding to the problem. If we already got a shortage of how did you add in more people to the monopoly?
Right.
That's not gonna solve the problem.
Right.
But and also like I'm open for equal American opportunity. Like I'm a veteran, I done served my country, I did all of that stuff. I'm here for the American people, as American as I can be. But at the same time, like you letting the borders open, we're not helping the greater cause right now. Like if I had to jump to a video I saw was on TikTok, they had like let all of these like immigrants from El Salvador or somewhere like it was hella hood.
Or
It was so hood, but they dropped them off in Chicago. Well, Chicago already got enough gangs, and you dropped off
Venezuela.
Venezuela. And you
Yeah.
dropped off a set of gangs from Venezuela in a gang area. Bro, you just adding to
That's
the
just more
fire.
problems.
Like you got Bama's about that life, adding to the people that's about that life, and we just added more territory. Like, come on, bro. We're not helping the situation at all.
And some people may or may not disagree with me, but this is my thought. They're letting illegal immigrants come in here so that way they can allow some of these people to be able to vote. There was a huge discrepancy against who was able to actually vote. So when they checked the voting ballots, it was over like 100,000 people that was illegal immigrants that voted.
Yeah,
So,
like how are you? You're not even supposed to be able to vote if you're a legal immigrant. So how did that even like work out?
that's the thing. So they're bringing these people over here. So I mean, hopefully that's not the case. But it's like, what is your point of doing this? And then you're bringing these people over here for the American people to deal with. With the American people
And like
pay
I
the
don't
taxes
like I said,
away.
I'm a little lost
Like,
because it's like it's a disconnect. It's a disconnect hard because it's the math ain't mathing, man. I'm gonna let this play through. But for me, the math ain't mathing. And I'm like, I'm here for the bigger picture. But y'all giving this man a free lane to the end zone is what I'm saying. Like y'all giving this man a free, like they done opened up the gates. All the man got to run through it because y'all giving him the full play.
and the thing about it is, a lot of people talking about, oh, she's just the vice president. She don't have no control. She is in control of border patrol and doing a horrible job at it. Horrible job at it. And
the
then,
fact that they just dropping people off by the busload, that's my point. That it's like the Republicans just really taking advantage of, you want to play, let's play. But I understand
as
why
they
they like
should,
that.
I think.
Exactly, because it's like, look what you can allow to happen. So at this point, I
Let
ain't
her
for the
deal with it.
wall, but at this point, we gotta do something, Slim. Like we're not paying all these tax dollars so that way, you know what I'm saying, it could be wild and crazy. We're gonna bring up that other video to do that you told me about, but that's just a whole nother segment. Let's push through because I want to get to the cats and dogs.
You want to get to that's all you care about, the cats and the dogs.
To raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for those.
It just irritates me, Jason. It just irritates me. I can't. But let me say this, because you talking about tax cuts, but this hold on, let me just say this. She was agreeing with Donald Trump the entire time. I want you to understand that, because she's talking about tax cuts, yet Donald Trump is the one that is pushing for tax cuts. Biden administration was talking about we need to tax the rich. So now all of a sudden you're talking about tax cuts. Since when?
I think she's talking about tax cuts on the lower income, and he's talking about tax cuts for the rich. So I think they're just very vague on the word tax cuts, but he's talking about tax cuts on the rich. She's talking about tax cuts on the lower income. So therefore, I think there's just a vague, you know what I'm saying? Like you just got to really be in the know for that one.
Well, Donald Trump is actually talking about tax cuts for federal income taxes, which does not just directly affect the rich. It affects everybody.
Got you. Because they're not in the federal side. I mean, they not, I get it.
So if he does that, now there's pros and cons to it. Obviously, Donald Trump might know more than this, or definitely does know more than this than I do. But when he does the tax cuts, he's saying that he's going to basically replace those funds with increasing tariffs on foreign country to bring whatever materials inside of
the
United States.
And my thing is, with that, other countries tax us for that same tariff. We just been so light with it because we want to make sure that like income is still coming in and whoopie whoop. But I mean, we wanted to stay in our business at some point.
Yeah. So we only 43 seconds in.
Yeah. I'm about to say, let it go a little bit, Ronnie.
Which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time. My opponent, on the other hand, his plan is to do what he has done before, which is to provide a tax cut for billionaires and big corporations, which will result in $5 trillion to America's deficit.
We're doing tariffs on other countries. Other countries are going to finally, after 75 years, pay us back for all that we've done for the world. Look, we've had a terrible economy because inflation which is really known as a country buster. It breaks up countries. We have inflation like very few people have ever seen before, probably the worst in our nation's history. We were at 21%, but that's being generous because many things are 50, 60, 70, and 80% higher than they were just a few years ago.
Why is she shaking her head? Because that's the truth.
That is the truth, man. That is the truth. Let it go.
Has destroyed our country with policy that's insane. Almost policy that you'd say they have to hate our country. First of all, they bought their chips from Taiwan. We hardly make chips anymore because of philosophies like they have and policies like They
Did
are
he say chips or chips? Chips or chips?
Chips. Like
Potato chips?
electronic chips.
Oh, chips. All right, my bad, my bad.
Yeah.
no policy. Everything that she believed 3 years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a mail. She's gone to my philosophy, but if she ever got
Clearly, now she
elected, she'd change, and it will be the end of our country. She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist professor in economics, and he taught her well. But when you look at what she's done to our country, and when you look at these millions and millions of people that are pouring into our country monthly, where it's, I believe, 21 million people, not the 15 that people say, and I think it's a lot higher than the 21. That's bigger than New York State pouring in. And just look at what they're doing to our country. They're criminals. Many of these people coming in are criminals. And that's bad for our economy, too. You know, you mentioned before, we'll talk about immigration later. Well, bad immigration is the worst thing that can happen to our economy. They have, and
let me pause right here because he's making a lot of points that I think a lot of people is going to go over their head. So like he said, banning immigrants will be detrimental to the country because the country runs off of immigration. Like
Right.
a lot of the
right.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, because the people may not know.
No, go ahead. You know how to say things better than I do.
No. What I was going to say is that you're right. Banning immigrants is bad because that's just how this country was built, right? But it needs to be built on good immigrants. And that's the thing. We're not vetting any immigrants. We're just saying, bro, come on through. Like, it's literally like throwing a house party and like saying, hey, you can bring a friend. But if you bring a friend to my house, you made to make sure it's a good friend.
Right.
Don't bring just Joe Smo that's going to steal the statue off my table type stuff. And that's the issue because I'm seeing, we need to get into these other videos, but I'm seeing like the videos that was on CNN about the girl that was, the child that was raped and killed, that was from illegal immigrants, and a few different situations of that nature, because at the end of the day, people need to realize there are bad people out here, regardless of how we look at it, whether they're in America or not America. We got enough bad people in America. But the thing is, these people are getting put out of Mexico because they like, Slim, you a savage. I gotta get you out of here. And if you don't get out of here, you gotta go somewhere. Where does the country connected right to you? So they coming over here and they got the same, effed up ideology. But the other side of this is that if you're not willing to go through the background, the waiting process, the vetting process, the visa process, everything to get into the country, you don't need to be here. And they need to go south. They need to go to south. Don't go north. But we just letting them in off the strength that we looking for jobs and all this other stuff. Like, it's a lot of great people from Mexico and other countries that can come in through the normal system, that can work and do what we need to do. But opening the gates is crazy to me because I'm not paying taxes, Slim. Listen, I'm not paying these property taxes just so you can let anybody next to me. And now I'm in a war zone because I pay because you dropped them off. Like, that could turn anywhere into a hood.
Exactly. To your point, these people are walking around with AK-47s, machetes, all types of guns, literally took over multiple apartments in Colorado. Like, I don't understand how they have not put boots on the ground to deal with the issue. I just don't get it. Another thing, I'm thinking, they're bringing these criminals over here so that way they can feed their pockets even more, if you ask me. So that way they can continue to put these people in prison, and the taxpayer dollars got to pay for that.
You shouldn't put them in American prison though, because you just get deported if you ask me. But then again, I ain't on that side of the politics. But it's just backwards, bruh. I feel like it's backwards, and I want, like, it's just like I want, bruh. Hear me out and understand this, people. I was the first term my man did. I was not a fan at all. But after these last 4 years, and I seen what y'all did, it's like, bro. I mean, at this point, I see what they were saying when he was like, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? At this point, y'all made it clear to say, what's the worst that could happen? Because y'all ain't make nothing happen.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you too. Like, I was not a fan at all. And I'm not even saying that I'm pro-Trump. What I am pro is I am pro-woman. I am pro freedom of speech. I am pro right to bear arms. I am pro
I'm definitely right to bear arms.
leaving kids in a child's place and having them to not make decisions on their own. That's what I'm pro. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things that I am for
And
that.
my only issue with the Trump joint is probably women's rights, women's abortions, women's, that whole side that they trying to, like I said, if we go into it, the real underlining is that the population, the Caucasian population is suffering more because they do abortions, a little bit more, and they feel like their population is diminishing. So that's why they're pushing this whole non-abortion situation. But outside of that, a lot of the other things is kind of like, I mean, I look at it this way: you vote for president in this day and age, you're not gonna get 100% of what you like. You're not gonna get 80% of what you like. You might get 60. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta find your little pocket for where you are in life. And for me, being an entrepreneur, business owner, and in the direction that I'm trying to go in life, taxes and certain things make sense. So it's tough because you're like, bro, I don't agree with you with all your stuff, but some of the stuff you pushing is better than what they pushing. And I gotta roll with the punches. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's tough. It puts you in a really tough situation, but kind of is what it is at this point. And like, you're not stepping on enough to make me say like, I bet I'm rocking with you because you're an African American woman or whatever the case is. We trying to promote change. Like, I want the change. I want it. But you ain't pushing enough like other stuff to make me say like, yeah, I agree.
She has not answered not one question regarding her policies, regarding immigration, regarding a lot of the concerns for the American people. Hopefully in one of these clips, they were talking about Trump said you want to take away people's rights to have guns. And she was like,
oh
no,
yeah, that's
a
no, baby. Because
she said, no, I don't. No, I don't want to take away your rights. When there's multiple clips of her saying that there needs to be a ban on guns. She said this multiple times. So it's like she's agreeing with Donald Trump. And it's just like, well, are
but
you
trying to like
Democrat
disagree.
or are you a Republican? Because
Nah,
I'm confused.
I mean, I don't think it's Democrat or Republican. I think it's all policy because at the end of the day, like I go back into my history of who was Democrat, who was Republican, black, white, whatever. But on the gun lab, on the gun roll, like, hey, listen, I'm proud, military, police, all of that stuff. Like, you know me, I'm always strapped. So at the same time, you're not about to. That's one thing we're not about to do because I'm all for the rights of bearing arms. And one thing I can say is plenty of people out there, black men in general. If we don't arm up, I don't know. We got to arm up against our own. We got to arm up against them. We got to arm up against everything. But you got to do it legally. So at the same time, like carrying is a part of life. So if you talking about taking my straps away, like you tripping, Slim, because if things hit the fan, I need to be prepared. And it's tough already in Maryland. Like I can't even, you know what I'm saying, certain ARs and this and that. I get the wrong people had guns. But Slim, I need mine so I can protect myself against the wrong people.
Right. Yeah.
So let's down. I'm trying to get the cats and dogs.
Policy that's insane. Almost policy that you'd say they have to hate our country.
Well, as I said, you're going to hear a bunch of lies, and that's not actually a surprising fact. Let's understand how we got here. Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. And they did exactly as he intended. And now in over 20 states, there are Trump abortion bans, which make it criminal for a doctor or nurse to provide health care. In one state, it provides prison for life. Trump abortion bans.
Okay, so I have to make a comment on this because obviously abortion is a really sensitive topic in America. Right. So when they overturned Roe versus Wade,
crazy.
You already know that that's been in law for a very long time, over 50 plus years, I think over 70 something years. And they overturned it. Basically, when they overturned it on a federal level. So when they overturned it, now they're leaving it up to the states to decide